So today we're doing a video all about Bigfoot, and that is why I am here in the Pacific Northwest of the USA. This is where the Bigfoot legend began, at least in the USA. Up in Canada, which is really close to here by the way, they also have Bigfoot, they call it Sasquatch, and over in the Himalayas they have it and they call it a Yeti, which to me a Yeti was that thing that when you do ski free and you get to the bottom and then that thing comes in. Not important, but we're here because a third of all Bigfoot sightings in the USA happen right here in the Pacific Northwest. Now the Bigfoot, it gets its name because apparently it had really big feet. They were 2 feet long, something like that. I'm more used to the metric system, by 8 inches wide. And also the beast itself, 6 to 8 feet tall. So Bigfoot legends in this part of the world, they've been around for generations. Indeed, the legends existed before colonists even arrived in America, but things really kicked off a whole lot more recently, and that was in 1958. There was this dude, and his name was Gerald Crew, and basically he found very large footprints near a construction site. Kind of turns out, not really surprising here, that those footprints were actually faked by a brother of one of the members of the construction crew. So unfortunately wasn't real this time, which as you're going to see is a rather recurring theme throughout this video. So things really kicked up a gear again in 1967, because that's when we have something called the Patterson Gimlin film. Now, of all the Yeti stories and all the various videos out there, this is the one that you've probably seen. It's this one. You see the guy walking through the forest. Now, people at the time said that this was, it was definitely a Yeti. It couldn't possibly be a person because it had a very inhuman-like walk. Supposedly the guy who filmed it, a guy called Patterson, hence the name of the movie, he took it to Universal Studios and even had someone look at it in the special effects department who said it was impossible that something like this could be replicated by a human with the technology at the time. Now, we're a little skeptical because, I mean, look at it. It's just a dude walking through the forest. We're skeptical ourselves. Also, another problem that people had with the film is that Patterson had a bit of a reputation for being a liar. Oh, and then also later on someone came forward and said, yeah, I was the dude in the movie wearing a costume doing the supposedly impossible inhuman walk. So now the question comes as to what is actually going on here. Well, there are 2 main explanations. One is that it's just hoaxes. Indeed, for a time, pranking people with Bigfoot feet was actually like a thing, a commercial thing. You could buy these things, which you could make prints in the ground to make it look like there was a Bigfoot in your backyard. Totally a thing. Not so popular these days, but people are still perpetuating this hoax. Another explanation, of course, is misidentified animals. Indeed, there was a picture recently that looked like this, and people thought that this, it's a juvenile Bigfoot. It's what it looks like when it is young. But either it's just a bear with a hair condition, which is what park ranger said, or it's just a dude in a suit. In fact, our kind of logical conclusion is almost all of these sightings, if not all of these sightings, are just dudes in suits. So there are a couple of big problems outside of the fact that no one's really got any solid evidence of these things existing. And the first one is, how would they reproduce? There are obviously very few of them, and you need a certain number to be able to create a sustainable population. And the second big problem is, where are all the bodies? If there are Sasquatches, Bigfoot out there, where are their bodies when they die? We'd have found them if there were a certain number of them out there. Now, in 2008, a couple of kids, they claimed that they had a Sasquatch body, and they even posted a video on YouTube about it. It got a lot of media attention internationally, but surprise, surprise, turned out totally to be a hoax. So the point of this video isn't really about Bigfoot or anything like that. It's more about something we rather like at Today I Found Out, and that's skepticism. Always approach things with a bit of a skeptical mind, because things like Bigfoot, I mean, we had that video and we had that picture, but that's all we really have. It's probably not real, and most scientists agree. So I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please do hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We put out not brand new videos like this every day, but we do these occasionally thanks to our Patreons who really make this sort of stuff possible. Head over to patreon.com/TodayIFoundOut to learn more about that. And as always, from the bug-filled woods of the Pacific Northwest, thanks for watching. So there are a couple of main problems with Bigfoots, other than there being basically no real evidence of them existing, and they're kind of scientific. Whoop.